this sounds like something I'd make up because it's my dream, but James Bond news. Florence Pugh cast as possibly Jane Bond or Bond girl.
Jane Bond, is that the official name that we're giving the female James Bond?
Jane Bond, I don't know, some headline used it. I'm nabbing that.
All I can say is that if she's cast as the Bond girl, breaking James Bond news, woof woof. Lord Flashheart from Blackadder cast as James Bond alongside her.
Lord Flashheart would be an amazing Bond. Rip Rick Mail. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? If word gets out that I'm dead, 10,000 women will kill themselves. Shaken, not stirred. No, that's Matt Berry.
There's something about them, though. They've got a slight similarity to them.
There really is, yeah. Can you imagine Matt Berry is like Q or something?
Honestly, mate, let us cast, because this film that we're reviewing this week, right, is basically Helen Mirren's application to be Judi Dench 2.0 in the new Bond film.
Yes,
so,
it really is.
We should just cast the new Bond film. We've got Florence Pugh as the girl. We've got Ralph Fiennes. No, was it Richard E. Grant? No, it's Richard E. Grant as M. There you go. Matt Berry as Q. We just need a James Bond.
Taron Egerton as Bond. We've got it.
The gorilla from Sing, of course. Hello and welcome to episode 80 of Moving Up with your hosts, me, Alfie Walker.
And me, Adam Barlow.
How you feeling this week? The big 8-0. We're getting there, nearly at the 100 milestone. That's when we stop.
Imagine. By the way, guys, this is a limited series. No.
We stop at 99.
Yeah, or like 97, just randomly.
Well, if we don't get more views. Share it to your friends.
We'll keep going till, I don't know, Spotify shuts down. Other podcast providers are available, of course, and we'd be open to working with any of them in an official capacity.
And what have you been up to this week, Adam Barlow, on your adventures around the south of England? What have you been up to?
It's been a busy one this week, actually. I went to IKEA on Monday. That was good fun. Had some meatballs and a slice of dime cake, always a treat. And then I went to the press launch event for the London Film Festival, where they unveiled the full programme, or sort of ran us through at high speed the sort of main headlines, basically, of the run of the lineup, and it was really great. There was a few famous faces in the crowd, namely Benedict Townsend and his wife, so that was quite nice to see him. There were apparently filmmakers in the crowd as well. I didn't have a chance, unfortunately, to look around and see if I spotted anyone else, but the funny thing was, I rocked up about 5 minutes to the start time. It was like a 10 a.m. kickoff, so I was on a 7:15 train. It was quite an early start for me. But because I was there sort of last minute, the front row was empty, presumably because everyone thought it'd been reserved for important people. But I went in and there were no, like, it was really packed, this cinema. It was at the BFI South Bank. I think it was screen 1. And yeah, properly packed and bustling. Everyone was chatting, really tangible excitement in the room, I've got to say. And I went up to the front and I was like, oh, sorry, like, is this reserved? Or can I sit here? And they're like, no, go for it. I was like, oh, neat. So I sat right in front of the main speaker pedestal, like literally the best seat in the room. And
well, you really shunned yourself there, mate, because you said the front row was reserved for very important people, and I mean, it really was the part 1 of Moving On Up. So, like,
God, that's so true. Yeah, you're right. It was reserved for us.
Yeah, and they announced some pretty big films there. I think the most anticipated has got to be the Knives Out sequel.
Yeah.
And then we've also got Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein as well, I believe.
Yeah, they didn't actually mention it in the press launch, which was weird because that should be a huge film. I mean, Oscar Isaac, it's gonna be great. Christoph Waltz in there as well. Very excited for that one.
We've managed to both secure a press pass, haven't we? Which is exciting. We don't know how to utilise them yet, but
it's fine. We'll work it out on the day. It's all good. I mean, film fans will know if you've ever attended the London Film Festival before, it's a real challenge to plan that time out, because you've got to take time off work. You've got to find where you're going to stay in London if you're not local. And then you've got to also fight in the ticket queues. Last year, unfortunately, I didn't have time to attend a press screening myself. But I know even for that it's quite competitive to get a ticket to see these films, just because they are, huge releases. You're seeing them months before the general public. And it's really sought after. You've got to really plan the time out.
We're not going to be able to go loads. We're both busy boys, but I think we're going to try and spare a day, maybe like a Friday or a Saturday or something, and both go up there. And it would be great to try and get maybe not a huge film like the Knives Out sequel, but a fairly anticipated film, and try and secure a ticket to that and see it like significantly early compared to everyone else. It would be a real treat.
Fingers crossed, absolutely. This week on the podcast, we've got, I think, 4 reviews for you. Some big films, some smaller films, a TV show thrown in the mix as well. Alfie, what are you bringing to the table this week?
I'm bringing Ginger Charm, and along with that, I'm bringing the new Netflix, BBC ITV-esque show called Hostage, which I watched. We binge-watched that. Only 5 episodes, so that was a nice little... I think it was a Sunday evening watch for us. We just watched the whole thing. And then we both watched Thursday Murder Club, the Netflix adaptation of Richard Osman's book. And then Adam also went to the cinema. And what did you catch there?
I saw the new comedy starring Benedict, Cumberbatch and Olivia Coleman called The Roses. Loads of fun. So I can't wait to talk about that one. And I also got a press screener for a film that comes out the day this podcast comes out, called Paul and Paulette Take A Bath. It's won a few awards at some of the festivals over the last year or so. And yeah, it was really exciting to get a press screener for it. I think the first one we've got, really. It'll be good to talk about that one.
A busy episode indeed. Let's get to it. What should we start with, Adam?
Let's start with a rant about Lego. I know this is a bit of a sidestep.
Tangent?
Bit of a tangent. But I mean, you and I have been dying to talk about this. So they've unveiled the new Lego Death Star. And it is, listen carefully, the biggest, most expensive Lego set ever made, okay? You can buy this. It's in stores later this year for £1,000, okay? And it looks like trash.
Adam said before the podcast, it looks crap. It just looks crap.
Yeah.
Imagine when you say £1,000 and you say Lego Death Star, you picture this giant... I know, just a spectacle, right? It's the most expensive Lego set ever released, I believe. So you're expecting something big, but it's just a big grey frisbee. It's just a big hamster wheel. They've just gotten the concept of what you think this is going to be, and then sliced both the sides off. So you've just got a sort of wheel of a chunk.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing.
It is. And I mean, I know people will cynically think, well, all Lego Star Wars sets are a big grey blob, really. I mean, I'm looking at the £735 Lego Millennium Falcon here, and that is also, admittedly, pretty much a big circle. But at least that is a complete version of what that's representing, right? And it's also over £250 cheaper. Let's not leave that in the dust. What you've got here is a Death Star that I'm looking at my shelf now, and above me I have a better representation of the throne room scene from Return of the Jedi and the trash compactor scene from A New Hope. Both done better in the diorama sets, which you can probably buy for not even 150 quid. So it's ridiculous that they are charging that amount for subpar versions of sets we've already got. I don't think there's anything that exclusive or mind-blowing in here. It all just looks quaint and tiny and petite and small and rubbish.
I really recommend you just Google it. It'll come straight up if you type in Lego Death Star. First thing that comes up. It looks so bad. I'm such a Lego shill. I will defend their bad prices to the day I die. I'm always like, no, I can see why it costs that much. I can see this. And I've bought the Falcon, albeit I bought it when it was 600 back in like 2020 rather than the 700 and whatever it is now. I bought like the Razor Crest, and yeah, you're quite right. They are just huge grey blocks, but like you said, they're the complete thing. It's like an iconic ship. This is barely that. Even on the box art for it, they've put a full version of it because only the full version exists. Like, it's such a bad choice. It's insane.
And I think, you know, Funko Pops recently, they've done those really small versions, like the mini Funko Pop little collector things. And then you can also buy a thematic display stand for them where you just place them in there. And the one they did for the Star Wars characters was the Death Star. And it's essentially that, albeit a lot smaller and way cheaper. But I'm like, that's all that is. It's just, it's a minifigure display stand and not that attractive at that.
It's just when you put it in comparison as well, like house update, we're getting our kitchen done next week. And so we've had all of our like appliances delivered. And we bought like a top of the range dishwasher, which is the same price as this box of plastic. Like, it's insane.
So the last Lego Death Star they did, I think it released in around 2016. Don't quote me on that. But at least that was a sphere, right? Again, it's still scaled down. It's not minifigure scale, you know, it's just a representation of it. I've never really been a fan of these Death Star sets because part of me is like, I don't want it to be entirely closed off because then that's a bit, it's cumbersome to hold and I don't know where you'd put that. But then also by keeping it open, it just looks a bit ugly in my opinion. It might just be personal taste because I know these sets have been popular in the past, hence why they thought they could splash out and do £1,000 version. But at least the Sphere one, right, it was at £410. So you could buy almost 2.5 of those sets and make a far more expansive and iconic looking set than anything Lego themselves have offered you with this new one.
I must say, Adam, after this conversation, I don't think we're ever getting our dream jobs at the Lego company.
No, we've both done journalism degrees, Alfie. We're just keeping the people in power honest and truthful, okay? That's all it is. We're just keeping them on their toes and asking them about poor decisions.
I did write a comment on the official Lego release of this, just putting like, I'm all for this and that, but I really think the designers on this one should be sacked.
Yes, exactly. Now on that note, let's move on to brighter things. Let's get into the first of our reviews. Should we start with the Thursday Murder Club?
Indeed. An absolute colossal cast on this one. We both watched this, so we're both going to review it, which is great. We've got Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Celia Emery, Ben Kingsley, Jonathan Pryce, David Tennant, Naomi Ackie, most importantly, Richard E. Grant, which was a nice surprise when he showed up. And then you've got other like sort of names that you'll recognise or faces you'll recognise, Daniel Mays, Tom Ellis, all from sort of like just stuff you've seen all the time. What a crazy cast. And how did you find it, Adam? Have you read the book?
Yeah, so I'm reading the book and also listening to the audio version of it, you know, the audiobook version, which is lovely. It's narrated by the same actress who played Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. So she's got a really lovely, you know, timbre to her voice. She absolutely aces it. All the characters, great. But this film, I'm sad to say, it's not bad at all. I think it's just a little bit underwhelming. I actually had a pretty pleasant time with it. I think more so than most reviewers out there. And it sounds like I'm damning it with faint praise, but it is just very sweet and very nice. And that's kind of all I can say about it. It's just a bit less than some of its parts. I think all these actors have done far better work in their careers. And they'll probably do better works, you know, following this. But it's a shame. I think it had so much potential because the book is hilarious and really witty and just comforting. And I think, admittedly, this film is comforting as well, but it doesn't have that edge or the sharpness that the book has.
You mentioning Leslie Manville, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, is a really good comparison I didn't think of, because I would describe Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, which I think, did we review that on here, or was that too early?
No, too early. But we had a great time with that.
We definitely told the story how we didn't want to go and we had a great time. But that is a film that I'd use the same words to describe, where it's just lovely and the production value is lovely, and I think it's a really nice film. And similar to what you've said, I just don't think I can say the same about it. I feel that it felt quite cheap, which is weird for a film that has an insane cast and must have cost a lot. And I also felt it was a little cringy in places. It had something to it that was just, sometimes it made me sort of wince out of like, eesh, like that's not that funny. That's just a bit, I don't know what it was. It was a bit off for me. But I do agree. I think some of the actors were good. Some of the actors were just fine. And it did feel very, very TV. If you release this at the cinema, I think I'd be like, how have I just paid £12 at Odeon to go see this?
Yeah.
But as a home release on Netflix, which is all it is, I think it did fine, I think.
Yeah. I do think Richard Grant, I know we're big fans of him, I thought he was a bit bad in this film. He's not given anything to do, and he looks he looks poor. I'll say that. Like, he doesn't look good.
The haircut, that's what did it for me. I was like, what is this haircut going on? And I agree, he didn't really have anything to do. He was kind of built up. I thought he was going to have quite a big role in the third act or something.
Yeah. I know they have changed the ending,
I think,
but I haven't got to that point in the book, of course, so I can't compare how it's changed. And there was part of me that was like, do I watch this film or do I just save it all together until I've read the whole book? Then I can enjoy it and see it as an adaptation, because now I've also spoiled the ending or a version of the ending. And I'm not mad about it. I'm happy I watched it and ticked it off, and I can talk about it here, and you've seen it as well. And my parents had a lovely time with it. But it's a shame that this is the first interpretation now that I get of this story, rather than just reading the superior source material.
I think Helen Mirren definitely had the most to do. And I think this was, like I said at the beginning, it was clearly her audition to be M in the next James Bond series. Yeah. I think she kind of put her all into it. I haven't seen her in all that much. I'm just aware of her as an actress. But I wouldn't be able to say I've seen her in that much. But I think she did nice with what she's done. Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley's sort of iconic, and he should have so much more to do. I just felt that it just fell short a little bit in places. The marketing is really ramping up for it as well. They're all being interviewed and all having these press junkets. But that's interesting, like you said, that they've changed the ending. So that would be really intriguing to see if the ending they've changed to is better. So you can definitely talk about that once you finish the book, mate, because that'll be great to talk about. I didn't realise that they'd done that.
Yeah. Although on the positive sides, I do think, I know I said Richard Grant sort of lacking, but on the other hand, Daniel May's really great in this film, I think. My parents were like, oh, this guy, and he's doing the same shtick that he normally does. I thought it really worked. He was bang on, like, carbon copy of the character in the books. So he definitely translated the best, I would say. David Tennant as well, doing stellar work as Ian Bentham, when he's swanning through and doing like the exaggerated eye rolls and what is it? I think like the priest says, "Oh, this is a sin," and he's like, "Whoo!" Like you can tell he's having an absolute blast.
Fun of it. Yeah. And also, I thought that Jonathan Pryce was alright, but he's doing the exact same role he's currently doing in Slow Horses, the Apple TV show. Basically, there's 4 seasons of that now, and he's playing a sort of deteriorating man who's linked to MI5 in a way. Like, he's playing the exact same role there, and I just think the caliber of the actors is huge. It was kind of shocking that they didn't have that much to do, but like you said, I think it was fun enough. Other than the gratuitous CGI shot at the end where it's panned out of the window.
Gosh, yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, that's where the budget went.
So bad. Me and Jake just looked at each other and were like, "Oh, that was bad."
Yeah, like that was Tracy Beaker level budget. Yeah. From the American director Jay Roach comes a new film called The Roses that has an absolutely stacked cast. You've got Olivia Coleman acting as a couple with Benedict Cumberbatch. You've got Kate McKinnon of SNL fame and Barbie recently and lots of other films. Andy Samberg, an actor I love. He's just great in everything. Really smart and intuitive in interviews, and yet his characters are so silly and wonderfully comedic. He's a real standout here as well. You've got Sunita Mani, you've got Alison Janney, you've got Ncuti Gatwa, Jamie Dimitru, who you'll recognise from things like Fleabag and other British sitcoms like Staff Sells Flats or something like that. Zoe Chow as well. Great comedic talent in this film. It's got a sort of 2-hour run time, I want to say, and it feels like it drags a little bit. It might be a little bit baggy in places, but overall, this was a wonderful surprise. I had a brilliant time with this film, Alf.
It looks fun. We mentioned last week that when the trailer comes on, everyone usually sort of shuts up and watches it quite intently. Benedict Cumberbatch, always a treat. Olivia Coleman, one of my favourite actresses at the minute. So you enjoyed this one, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. And it makes sense. I've just seen Jay Roach directed also the Austin Powers trilogy. So
no way.
Another iconic, British comedy. He also was behind Meet the Parents and Meet the Fockers, 2 films that are very much in the same vein as this as well. I believe The Roses is an adaptation of a book called The War of the Roses, but it basically is about a couple. The woman is played by Olivia Coleman. She is a sort of very talented chef, and you can see she's a stay-at-home mum when you first meet her in the film, but you can see that she's got this real flair for baking. She's incredible, and so she decides to set up with the aid of her husband Theo. It's Theo and Ivy, the couple. Theo, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. He's a very successful architect, and he's just been commissioned to work on this new museum that will celebrate the history of California and its nautical notability, I guess. So it's this huge building, and it's got a sail on the top, and it's really extravagant. And it looks beautiful. It's obviously all CGI, but it's very, very inspiring building, I would say. Yeah, I think the Brutalist guys would be proud. And then Ivy, with the help of her husband, is like, right, I'm going to set up my own cafe, my own restaurant. She calls it We've Got Crabs, and their special dish is crabs. And it turns out she's bloody excellent, and she gets like renowned worldwide success. So she very quickly becomes quite famous as a chef and as just a great character to be around. Olivia Coleman sort of doing the same shtick of being quite mean-spirited, a bit like a character in Fleabag, but also she's kooky, and it's Olivia Coleman, right? Like bumbling.
Yeah, a bit scatty, right? Yeah,
scatty is exactly the word. Thank you, Alfie. Yeah. And then Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, looking possibly at his hottest. I know people have a crush on Benedict Cumberbatch, but I'm like, nah, no, I just see Sherlock, this sort of strange, cold man. But he's brilliant in this film. This might be my favourite performance that I've seen of his. Probably second only to Sherlock, admittedly, but he's absolutely brilliant, properly funny, with great expressions and like, he's quite a tall chap, so his limbs are flailing around in certain scenes, like particularly towards the end when the couple fall out. That's the whole sort of point of the film, because Theo's career goes to shit in a hilarious scene where, this is really niche to point out, but it really meant a lot to me. I grew up watching MLG YouTube videos, right? And this absolute crap on YouTube. I think your brother did as well, like Peppa Pig and edits of Michael Rosen, all this absolute drivel that my brothers and I would absolutely piss ourselves watching. This film understands that culture amazingly, which I thought has been dormant for about 10, 15 years, right? And they do an edit. So his building collapses in a storm in quite a catastrophic way. And Andy Samberg's in the scene as well. He's like his buddy. He's also an architect, I think. Or no, he's a lawyer, sorry, that does real estate and stuff like that. So, linked careers, but they are mates through their careers. And they're both in this scene, and they go outside during the storm. The building's collapsing, and they are like, don't film, guys. It's not going to fall. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. And then Andy Samberg does this cartoonish scream, and the whole building crumbles. And then obviously he slips into a huge depression, which is the sort of main driving factor of the film, because you've got one that was stay at home that's now incredibly successful, and the other has now got to just be a stay at home dad because he's got fired from his job. He's having a horrible time. Anyway, one of these scenes, it cuts to him obviously having not slept a wink in the garage on the computer, just watching this video that's been edited on repeat, where it's Andy Samberg doing the most cartoonish yell, like and it's slowed down. It's like like that, and then you've got Benedict Cumberbatch go like, "It's not gonna fall. It's not gonna fall. It's not gonna fall, guys. It's not gonna fall." And it is. I've not laughed that hard in the cinema since. I think Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy was really funny. I think that's probably. Oh, that and The Naked Gun. It's been a good year for comedy. They've been the underdogs, I've got to say, but those three films have really properly got me. Like, that one scene, the rest of the audience was a little bit older than me and my girlfriend who were there, but I properly. Like, when I tell you I had tears in my eyes, my face was red, and Tamsin was like, Adam, like, I was laughing long after the scene had ended. Like, it really, really got me. I couldn't believe it. Probably the best joke of the film, of the year. Just really good. But the whole film's like that. It's really witty. It's got such a sharp script. And because of it, it sort of ramps up steadily, and they start bickering over dinner, as you see in the trailer. And they sort of bring their friends into it, bring their colleagues into this drama, and then start embarrassing each other and progressively making their lives hell for each other. They send their kids off to college, which is great for them. They're actually living their best lives, clearly quite detached from their parents, if anything. But they are themselves, very sporty, very athletic, intelligent kids. But it's, they've got no real connection with their parents at this point. So it's good in some ways, bad in others. It's just all very micromanaged and deliberate and mean-spirited. And as I say, it just escalates in this wonderful way until you get this delicious final showdown, which is just a sort of supercut of them both doing more and more escalating awful things to one another. And then the final scene, it gets really out of hand, as you see in the trailer. There's more surprises in there as well. And it ends with this lovely bow that is actually, to me, I found quite depressing, but also very darkly funny, and just really I think the best ending of a film this year, which I wasn't expecting to say. It's a pretty light-hearted comedy, but God, it just really, really sticks the landing, and you're like, God, this film is just firing on all cylinders. It's beautifully shot, a little bit CGI here and there, because they actually shot it, I think, in Devon, but the film was set in California, so they did a good job of pulling that off. But man, I had such a blast with this. Really funny. Everyone walked out just beaming. Like, what a great time at the cinema that was. I think, cynically, maybe it's not the most cinematic of films. You could probably watch it on streaming, but that makes me feel a bit upset to say. So go out and support this film in the cinema. It's really good fun.
I think it's gone a bit under the radar, isn't it? Unfortunately.
It had a good opening in the UK, I know that, but how it tracks worldwide, I'm not sure. I just hope that if it doesn't do so well in the cinemas, it might do quite well on streaming, because it is...
Streaming,
It's a big budget comedy that I know we say we don't get much anymore, but, off the back of seeing The Naked Gun and Freaky Friday as well. This is, I think, possibly the best comedy, because it's got the drama and the emotion that The Naked Gun doesn't really attempt to have. I think Mad About the Boy I still like a bit more than this, but yeah, it's just so much fun. Really, really pleasantly surprised.
Speaking of quintessentially British, we've got the new Netflix show, currently number 1 in the UK and has been for a good week now, I think. This one is called Hostage. So this is a 5-part TV show featuring Saran Jones as the main actress. You'll know her from Dr. Foster, Gentleman Jack, Scott and Bailey, Coronation Street. She's just one of those faces that you've definitely seen in all of these sort of like British shows. And if you look at her IMDb, all of the posters for everything she's been in looks like it's the same film slash TV show. It's that kind of vibe. And this fits perfectly into her resume. So it's a political drama kind of thing. Got a bit of action in there though, slightly sort of Bodyguard-esque. It's got a bit of high tensions in there as well. It feels exactly like one of these BBC ITV dramas that you'd watch with your mum on every Wednesday evening at 9 p.m. And they used to obviously be rife, but it seems that like streaming has sort of taken them over now. And this does feel exactly like that. It's 5 episodes of sort of like political intrigue, a lot of scheming, plotting, some backstabbing, some terrorism, and there's also some sexy French incest going on. So if that's your thing, give it a watch.
Oui.
It's very current and clearly reaching at what's going on at the moment. There's some stuff in there relating to Brexit and tensions with like right-wing parties rising. It's got a bit of the patriotism stuff going on in there with how money's being spent, which is obviously a hot topic at the moment. So it's clearly reaching to grab that audience, I guess, and sort of cash in on it. But it doesn't take the position you think. It deals with it quite well. There's no huge stars, but like Saran Jones is great. It truly does feel like one of those BBC drama kind of things. So we follow her as the Prime Minister of England, of the UK, and her husband is abducted while on a medical mission while in, I believe it is French Guiana, I believe. And it's basically a hostage situation. You've then got this all going on at the same time as the French president is visiting. It's clearly sort of trying to go for the Marie Le Pen thing that was going on previously with a far-right sort of party teetering on winning in a French election. It's all of that in the mix. You've got the main objective of it is for the PM to resign. That's the whole plot, and it really sets this all up in the first episode. It's an hour long with each one, and then you've got 4 more episodes of just following this out or basically seeing it through. I enjoyed it. It was really tense in places, a lot of sort of intrigue and politics and scheming, a fair bit of like action carnage. There's some gun stuff going on, a bit of gunplay. There's terrorist attacks. There's sort of a level of spying to it and real like sort of dodgy undercurrents and backhand dealings. It's all quite good to watch. I would really write home about the setting. I think it's really impressive. It feels real almost. You have got all these shots of like inside Downing Street, outside Downing Street, in the House of Commons. It feels like it's quite real. And I presume a lot of it is recreated sets because I don't know how it works with filming actually on these places. I doubt it was, but it really embraced like it making it feel British and making it feel real. So that was really cool to see. It felt, real. You had them like in the lobby of Downing Street when she becomes Prime Minister, and you've got lots of shots and arguments in the Commons, and it looks like it's really there. It's an excellent binge watch. In some places, it's slightly sort of a little cliche, maybe. I'd say definitely in that final episode, like you could see exactly what is going to happen. And I was like at one point, like imagining what they're going to say next, and they would literally say that. So it's slightly cliche in places, a little bit cringy, maybe, again, with just some of the writing. But overall, a really good sort of 5-hour binge like we did. We chucked it on a Sunday evening, watched 4 episodes, watched the final episode on the Monday. Just took up a nice sort of time. It was a really, really fun watch. It had us on the edge of our seats. It had us like constantly putting on the next episode. And then we were annoyed when we had to go to bed on Sunday night and had to wait till the next day to finish it. It had hooked us for sure. It's definitely worth a watch.
That all sounds really promising. I know you like a show like that, a sort of political thriller. Like it's obviously Andor we had this year as well, but I'm sure you've reviewed in the past a few other similar shows on Moving Up. It got me thinking though of a trailer I saw yesterday called A House of Dynamite. It's coming to Netflix and it looks brilliant. The cast is Greta Lee, Jared Harris, Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, Jason Clarke, he's always great, Anthony Ramos in there as well. Looks really promising. I love a good political thriller. I haven't watched enough, but it's sort of a bit of a diluted franchise, I suppose, because there's always so many of these things, as you say, on BBC or ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5. There's like a new one every fortnight almost. So add to that the streaming platforms as well. It's hard to keep up with them all, but it's nice when you stumble upon one that's good and delivers all the twists and turns that you want and all the espionage and threats and stakes that you need from a show like that. It's good that show delivered on it.
I've not seen this House of Dynamite. Is there a trailer out for it, or is it just sort of talking about it at the moment?
I think it came out yesterday, just a 1 minute 30 teaser trailer, but it looks really impactful, I've got to say. It's sort of about nuclear war, I imagine. Hence, like a House of Dynamite, like the whole world is just ready, with their fingers over the buttons. It gave me Mission Impossible vibes. Obviously, it's not that style of filmmaking, but it has Rebecca Ferguson in, and I think just the score and it's all voiceovered by one of the characters, and it seems very grungy and quite like depressing and heavy, but it looks great. So to round out the reviews this week, I also got a screener for Paul and Paulette Take a Bath. It sounds like a very obscure title, and the plot does kind of live up to that, I would say. It's a unconventional, very unique rom-com that I think focuses less on the comedy and more on the twistiness and unknowability of romance. I think in that regard, it does a very good job because the two lead actors, both with French names that I'm going to try and pronounce. Here we go.
Go on, give it a go. See if you can pronounce it.
Jeremy Galliana plays Paul, and Marie Benatti plays Paulette. There we go. I think I did all right there.
Plays the bath.
Yeah. So the bath in the title, I may as well explain that first. So Paulette is a queer character who says she's lesbian. She also sleeps with guys there as well, so possibly bisexual. She says, if that makes it easier, you can call me that, to her mum later in the film. She has real difficulty coming out and sort of articulating the way that she feels about her girlfriend. She's kind of too scared to take her home to meet her parents, who live in Austria. Early on in the film, first scene, Paul, a American photographer who can speak French as well, of course, is taking a photo of her. She is recreating the assassination of Marie Antoinette, of course, famously, beheaded with a guillotine, and she's there sort of bowing down and sort of trying to feel how that would have felt to be in that moment and to be that person in that historic, darkly historic moment. So she has a bit of a fascination with these places and with these people that are associated with dark things, dark events that I think the majority of the public would rather move on and forget about, or maybe don't even know about altogether, but they kind of ignore it and brush it aside. There might be a plaque in these locations, there might be, newspaper clippings hanging around, marking these points in history, but she really seeks it out. She goes to places where there have been horrific crimes, and they sort of befriend each other. Paul because he has a crush on Paulette, and Paulette because she just really enjoys having the company and doing this with someone else. So they go round, and one of the places they visit is allegedly one of Hitler's accommodations, places where he stayed during World War II. And they decide to get in the bath sort of at the midpoint in the film, hence the title, and they get a little bit intimate, I'll say that. So it's definitely dark. It is darkly funny in some moments, but I would say quite a tender film. And actually, people have compared it to films like Before Sunrise, which I do agree. I do see the similarities there quite a bit. It's a lot of introspection and thoughtful dialogue that does really work. The two lead characters have great chemistry. It's shot very well. I like the locations that they go to. It's all very personal, I think, in the way that the story is told. It's the first feature-length film from Jethro Massey, I think. He's done documentaries, I want to say, in the past, and certainly has directed videos as well. It's not his first time directing by any stretch, you can tell that. But I think the film is divisive in some regards because it is so out there with its premise. Like, it is an uncomfortable watch at times, going to these really horrific, places, albeit years on from the fact, but it is still strange to go to those locations and to revel in it and to enjoy it. But I think the film questions whether that is better or worse than just ignoring those atrocities altogether, which I think is a really impactful and interesting stance to take, and definitely left me thinking about a lot of different things. You know, I've been on battlefield trips with my school, and I remember going there, and like I really liked learning about the war, which is of course a horrible thing to have actually lived through, but learning about the battles and the equipment, I always took like a real fascination in that. And I guess in some ways you can kind of relate to Paulette in a weird way. You relate to Paul as well, but these are sort of flawed characters just trying to find their way through life in a fairly honest, mature way, talk about their feelings. And then the film does take a little bit of a change in the third act, where it then switches to be more about Paulette and her sexuality. She's obviously fallen out with her parents about it. They have a row over dinner, and it doesn't go well for her. Paul is then also strung along there as well. He just seems a little bit out of place, and he's not really sure what to do with himself. So that puts him in a difficult position, which then drives him to make a grand gesture of proclaiming his love in the final act, which I won't spoil. You've got to see it to believe it. Let's just say it involves Elvis Presley and his pubes. So that's, definitely one of the more interesting film finales I've seen this year.
It's one of those films that I've seen, we got sent it, and I haven't watched it. And I was thinking I'd love to watch it before the podcast so we can talk about it together. Unfortunately, time just didn't allow, and I thought I could watch it on the bus on the way to work, but I thought the film looks too beautifully shot and creatively lit to watch on a stagecoach bus at 8:30 in the morning. So I thought I'll give it the honour of not watching it and trying to watch it on a big screen, which I think I will, because I think if anything, like you said, it's a bit kooky, it's a bit macabre. Both of those things work for me. So I will watch it, and I think it does look good. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, and you can obviously vouch for that in what you've just said. But some of the shots look really nice when you're looking at clips and trailers. It feels quite thoughtful, like you've said. It's slightly meandering, but maybe in a good way, not in a way that's to its detriment. It seems like it sits on what it says, and it's the picturesque nature of it really fits with some of the, like you said, the macabre nature and the unconventional sort of story in it and the subject matter. I think it looks good, and I'm definitely going to check it out when I've got a bit of time. Yeah,
I would say at some points it unfortunately teeters over the edge to being a little bit preachy with its message. I think it could have probably left some more stuff unsaid. I quite liked the
ambiguity of it.
To be just sort of something you think about after the fact, but the film does sort of spill it out for you in certain scenes, which is fine, I think, if audiences had missed it. But for me personally, I'd sort of understood the message before they then doubled down on it, I suppose. But it has a touching ending. I do think it worked. The final sort of scenes with these two characters where they sort of part ways or agree what their friendship terms will be, I think actually works very well. And I feel like these characters will exist after the fact and they existed before, and that's a pretty big achievement for a first time, directorial turn for a feature-length film. That is, that's good work to convincingly bring two characters to life.
We're going to do something completely different here. We were speaking before the podcast about Emerald Fennell's Wuthering Heights, the new film coming out in 2026 on Valentine's Day. Adam Barlow had not seen the trailer yet, and I had seen it once when it came out. I briefly watched it. I had some opinions, and I want to see and hear Adam's opinions. Before we click play, get the trailer up yourself, to be honest. Watch it along with us, and you can see what we're commenting on. But how did you feel? Remind the audience, Adam, how did you feel about Saltburn?
Do I have to? This film, Saltburn, got so much attention because of its, freaky dirtiness. Ugh. I just did not like it. No, don't do that. I'm so glad we don't record these episodes because that was grim. Alfie just wiggled his tongue at me on FaceTime. I'm not a fan of that. Can I get a restraining order if you're in a different county? But no, Saltburn was not for me. I think Felix was all right in it, but then what is it? Oliver, the character played by whatever his name is, not a fan.
Barry
Kieran, that's the one. He hurts
that
Sabrina
summed it up. Go
Carpenter,
on.
and I'm not a fan of that. Not my queen. Right, let's watch this trailer. This is the official Warner Bros. Official teaser trailer for Wuthering Heights. Press play now. Dear, already jarring music. Woof. He looks like
a Neanderthal.
He looks like Samson from 28 Years Later.
He's very tall, isn't he?
He is. That's Frankenstein's monster for you. Do you think we're going to see his monster in this film?
Oh, I'll watch it for that alone. It's so...
Oh.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You can see it. It's so Saltburn. She's clearly got a style, isn't she?
Ugh. Oh, dear.
Yeah, crawling on all fours with a tongue out.
Yes, stop Emerald Fennell, please. Oh, God, look, he's going to grab a thing. Oh, look, I'm not a prude. I really don't want that to be the thing. And Charlie XCX there, of course.
Some would call you frigid, Adam. But...
well, my ex did call me Vanilla Barlow, so I mean... Yeah, man, this film is... It looks, thankfully, more restrained than Saltburn, but I mean, I don't remember the Saltburn trailers actually giving away that much.
I think arguably this has given more away in the trailer than Saltburn.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I remember going to Saltburn thinking it's going to be a real proper like murder situation.
Yeah.
It felt more sort of sinister, but it was just a bit more perverse. I was a fan of Saltburn, and I appreciate that it's a bit derivative of sort of everything that's come before it, and a lot gratuitous. I kind of like it. I think it's a bit sexy. It's a bit fun. And I think this seems similar. I messaged you the moment it came out saying I have a real soft spot for the saturation, the color palette, and the shots. I think it's quite music video-y. I think that's what it is. I feel like Emerald Fennell should just direct music videos, which is potentially what she's doing with Charlie XCX doing all the music. Yeah. It feels like a music video. It looks like a music video, and Saltburn did in places as well. But it really does something for me. I quite like the way, the saturation's turned up to 10. Like you had that shot there where she was in a red coat walking through snow, and it's a little bit cliche, but you're allowed to like trashy stuff sometimes. But for it being blasphemous to the original book, I haven't read it, but from what I've seen online, people are up in arms about it.
I don't want to take anything away from it if you do like her films. I've not seen A Promising Young Woman. That might be better, who knows. But just as someone who did not get along well with Saltburn and was actually quite traumatized, I'm not massively looking forward to this. You know what I think it is? The visuals, for me at least, remind me of the work of Yorgos Lanthimos, another director who leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I think, can you imagine if Yorgos Lanthimos and Emerald Fennell directed anything together? Like, good God, the BBFC would have to make a new rating for whatever filth and weird headfuck thing they come up with, because my God, you can't chain them down, can you? They've got a vision, and I'll applaud them for that. But
you could chain them down.
Yeah, and they bloody love
that's
it.
What the film's about.
Very good. I
think gratuitous is the only word to describe it. It just seems overly sexual for sexual's sake. I get why people like it. I think it could be fun. One thing for sure, Adam, is it's going to be an excellent film for us to review on this podcast.
Yes, you're right.
Valentine's Day as well.
Take your loved ones, and they'll leave you very shortly afterwards. Can you? No, actually, that's made me feel sick. The amount of first dates that are going to go and see this. Oh, mate, it's going to go terribly.
Yeah, like 15-year-olds going as well.
They're either going to get married if they love it. If they both love it, they'll be as sick as each other and they'll get married like the day after. But if they don't, like, you've ruined some poor boy's chance of ever getting a girlfriend, because he's never going to try again. He's just going to be like, well, I can't risk the cinema. That's going to be a real problem. It did make me think, though, of Kate Bush's song Wuthering Heights, of course, which we could give a rendition of if listeners want to hear it.
No, they don't. Oh. That's on the Patreon only, Adam.
Of course, sorry. But have you ever seen the Alan Partridge medley of Kate Bush?
No.
Oh my goodness. I'll insert a clip of it here, just like a 5-10 second bit. It's so good.
We're all alone on the stage tonight. Have we got clearance for copyright? We've been told we're not afraid of you. We should have done that. That should have been done. We know.
He's there like, rolling the ball, rolling the ball, rolling the ball to you. It's me, it's Kathy. I've come home now.
You don't need to insert a clip. You're just doing a perfect rendition now.
Well worth your time. I'd rather watch that on repeat 100 times than watch this new film.
If you'd like to get in touch and tell us what you thought about any of the films we spoke about this week, or what you think about this new romp by Emerald Fennell, I'm aiming this at you, Mason. We know you listen, and you said you loved Saltburn and you love the look of this. So email in and tell us why you think this is going to be good, because I think it looks a bit dirty and it might be a bit telling about yourself. So email in and let us know what you thought of the trailer for it. And if you're looking forward to it, you can do that. It's hello@movieonup.com.
You can also get in contact by going to our Instagram and TikTok. The handles for both of those platforms are at @movieonup. And no, I didn't just have a voice break and totally skip over it.
What are we reviewing on next week's? From what I'm aware, we got a bit of a quiet month, am I right?
You might be right, yeah. I mean, they're doing a lot of throwback screenings this month, which is always telling, isn't it? We've got Indiana Jones on the way. We've got Pirates of the Caribbean. I saw Jaws in 3D and iSense this weekend just gone, which was really cool. I won't forget that and hurry. What a bloody brilliant film. I've only seen that film twice. Listeners, go back and listen to when I first reviewed it, celebrating the 50th anniversary. But God, it's a film that feels so timeless. And even watching it for the second time, it felt like I'd grown up with it. It was the most bizarre thing. I was like, I can't wait to watch this again. And I watched it and I felt nostalgic for when I watched it like 3 or 4 months ago. It's ridiculous. What a great bloody movie, mate.
I know Jacob's friend and my friend who listens to the podcast, Jenna, she had never seen it properly and she had heard that it was my favourite film. And she'd messaged me saying like, oh my God, it's showing at View, because it did show at my View. It's only for like 2 nights. I haven't managed to go see it. I wish I had. But she said like, it's showing, go watch it. And she messaged me after being like, I'm taking my brother, I think it was, who's never seen it. And she messaged me, after saying like, I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through. I really loved it. And I think it's such it's a real pinnacle of cinema. I've said a million times. It's my favourite film of all time. And like you said, I think you can feel nostalgia from it, even if you haven't grown up with it, even if you didn't grow up in the 70s when it was released. I think just there's something about it. It feels like you can watch old films, you can watch like Psycho, and you know that was made a long time ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Jaws, I think it feels so timely, so modern. And I even think the shark looks all right. I don't get the hate for it.
Yeah, the shark looks great. Who's giving hate to Bruce?
People always say, oh, the shark looks so stupid.
No. Get over yourselves. Get over yourselves, guys. I think it's great.
Embrace culture, guys. Come on.
Brilliant film. Yeah, next week, the reviews that you might get, it's sort of a bit up in the air, I'm not going to lie, but Honey Don't is out with Margaret Qualley, Charlie Day. One of the Ethan Cohen directed that one, I think. And there's also a film called On Swift Horses which looks quite good. It's got Daisy Edgar-Jones and Will Poulter in it, and Jacob Elordi as well. God, he's getting around, isn't he?
Yeah, that's killer cast. Never heard of that.
Crikey. Yeah, so keep your eyes out. We'll try and catch something new and fresh. I think, because this week, given that we do a film podcast and we're not quite sure what's coming out, it may well go under people's radars. So we're going to be the buffer. We're going to be the barrier. We're going to see the films. We're going to consume them, the bad ones and the good ones. We're gonna report back next week
and regurgitate them to the audience like a mother bird feeding its babies.
Yeah. Oh, are you a fan of The Conjuring? Because the Last Rite comes out tomorrow. Are you going to see that?
Never watched them. I might dare myself to try and watch the previous 2 or 3.
Okay.
To then watch that next week. That might be a bit of an impossible task.
I think you could go in blind.
So I'm not going to promise anything. Oh, I don't think you can on these. I think there's about 6. There's like 3 Conjuring films, I think. And then I think there's about maybe 3 or 4 spin-offs, like Annabelle and like all these extra ones. So I think you can probably just watch The Conjuring, Conjuring 2, Conjuring 3, and then this new one, and you'd be fine. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how busy my weekend is.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, whatever we review next week, it'll be a fun surprise and an even better listen. So stay tuned for next week's episode of Moving Up. Bow, 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 down, 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 down.